I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on as at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura was dead, checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room, and I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone. What? Ogre?
Yes.
So she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what that means? Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you are going to say?
Huh?
No. Whoever killed her. It's not just someone in this room.
It's your fault!
One of you. Hiro, Byakuya, Toko, one of you killed Sakura! What? You're accusing us before we've even begun investigation? I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her.
I won't forgive you.
One of you did it. I know it. You know it. You know it. Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on!
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out me little murder flyer.
The Monokuma file!
Don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that, hold on. There's something I want to ask you. Huh? It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura.
Say what?
Huh? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again, and then, and I killed her. Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. That whole thing is totally irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. Saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
Hey,
Gotta tell you, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her.
darn.
So I don't know who it was, but whoever the Blacken is this time, I owe you one.
What is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie, before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. Because, I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
I was tempted to say it might have been a suicide. Again, I'm tempted to pull that out. What with the smile on her face? But she did also say that she was going to take down Monokuma and she wasn't able to do that, so I don't think that was the case. He was the one. I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for Mastermind, after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, don't have time for your squabbling. Next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway.
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can do that, if we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who'll stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay, then Hina is guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Me. You're always a thorn in my side. This time, just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byakuya, Tokyo, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene.
What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura!
I won't forgive you.
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just let me. Wait, what? Hold on a second. You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway. Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so, like, why should I care? Right? I mean, like...
It's all clear.
Let it go. Let it go.
I mean, it's like, I was downstairs the whole time it happened. I have an alibi. Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hino, but you should agree to his request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
correct.
For those of us still alive, and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byakuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen,
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to. It's kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. Just do it. Do it, I say. Better check the file. Victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated around 12 noon. Body was discovered in the rec room. There was evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. It seems that at some point the victim suffered from a violent vomiting of blood.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through, and that door had been jammed shut with a chair from inside, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. If the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words...
In other words, this is the classic locked room murder. Locked room? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever, but could it really happen in real life and right before our eyes like this?
Hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. That simply means the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words...
The killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun, you shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, we can probably cross that one
true.
off. The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other
They
words...
stay hidden, and when the door was open, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. Sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked
In other
room.
words...
By that I mean there's actually an alternative escape route hidden somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. And you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. There are 4 possibilities. Then Kyoko, which of these 4 choices seems more likely in this
It's
case?
true.
It's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. Right now, I can't really say. The way the killer set up the locked room, until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will... I don't know, skip that word. It's definitely a tough mystery. Need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. Okay, we got a Connect 4 thing on the floor. Looks like some kind of a wrapper. That's... Do you recognize it?
Well...
I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a bit. So you gave that candy to Sakura. Found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really liked them. As soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure no one else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much?
Has I mean,
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper added to the truth bullet section. Okay, good. That's a 1. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. Glass is red, and there are top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? This must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor. There's something else. It's a figure that fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor. Interesting.
Hey, Ryan.
What?
I'm gonna duck out for the night because I'm starting to get really fucking tired.
All right.
Good luck with the rest of the investigation. I'll see if I might stick around and chat for a little bit. But yeah.
Later, man.
Yeah, take care, man. Thanks for having me.
The locker's open, and there on the inside is a handprint.
why?
What's a handprint doing here? Looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left handprints in the dust.
True.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind something a little extra. So then, maybe the killer hid here until the locked room was open, don't you think? During all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? I was gonna point that out. The locker was open.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. So then, what does this handprint mean? Alright, there's a lot of evidence in here. That's good. These look like the bottles. 4 red bottles. And a figurine inside them. Okay, this bottle goes on this shelf. But is there another one missing? There's a Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get them inside the bottles.
So,
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle, hmm? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You've never seen that? Maybe I have.
in other words,
So this is the Monokuma version of that. Monokuma bottle's been added to the truth bullet section. I feel like I'm starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground, the red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle, which would mean Sakura must have been hit on the head with a bottle, right? Shards of glass and the figure are evidence of that, so I think it's safe to assume the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Check the body. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she'd also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure, so what would have caused that? The file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body. We're getting a lot of these. Maybe her getting hit in the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Not a chance.
That's
Byakuya,
fine.
however, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location.
Naturally.
Don't you agree? I don't think I'd call it interesting, but it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. That same shelf full of magazines, there's all different kinds here. And there's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. Must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Alright, clock. It's around 1 o'clock. According to the Monokuma file, she died around noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving Alter Ego?
what the heck?
We already know who did it! Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. Well, you know, we have to actually narrow it down. We have to pick one. And they couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? I don't know what to say. I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. And let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Eventually, she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. I tried to stop her. She wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, and she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened. Hina, it's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account has been added to the section. Okay, the fact she asked those three to meet and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon might be good to confirm what I just heard.
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type that would go down without a fight.
it's true.
She certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? Did someone get the upper hand? It must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. And it's true. I did receive note to that effect, yes, but what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? And until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Byakuya's account. I can tell the angle they're going for here. There's some kind of a plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
Looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how good it was for all sorts of ailments.
wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. Still, this protein can, it's got a label that says Chem A2. She mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff, so she must have gotten this from the Chem
Just
Lab.
a second.
That's strange. What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must have been part of the window I broke to get inside. They aren't scattered around the can, they're also underneath it.
So...
What does that matter? Can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. Feel like it'll become an important clue later on. Not sure I see how. It means that somebody broke the window once already and replaced it somehow. They broke it to get in, or to get out, or to lock the chair from the outside. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob so we couldn't get it open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on it. There's no reason to think the chair had anything special to do with it. Right. This door is the only way out. The door doesn't have a lock. There's no evidence of it being tampered with. The window smash happened when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. They kept the doorknob from turning, and there's no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with, so the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Lies. Rec room door has been added to the truth bullets.
Listen.
Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? I think so, for the most part.
So then...
And you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. She's right, I do have to go talk with the others. Alright. Yes, please. Fucking leave, goddammit. Yes. Those two other people probably went back to their rooms. Okay, you're up first. Press the doorbell, and after a few seconds... Oh, who's there? Again, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I just don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me that she'd asked to meet with him. She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said two, didn't I? Guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared. I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I believe her? No, you don't have to accept it as fact. You can hold it off on the side and be like, I don't know one way or the other here. I'm going back to my room. Toko quickly retreated into her room. All right, next up. This motherfucker. Press the doorbell. After a few seconds, what's up, Makoto? You need something? I just wanted to check with you about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you gaze into my soul? Have your special Waken's ability increased in the things? Oh, you're a spirit now. But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. When did Sakura tell you that? Well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura?
Got it all wrong.
No, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. Can you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Hold on.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, man. Looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Hey, real Mr. Mike. This is Danganronpa. We are in the 4th case, trying to suss out who killed the giant ogre of a lady. Huh? Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back in his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet me, but I never went. So if you'll excuse me. Hiro slipped back into his room. He said it was just trash, but there's no way that was all there was to it. Pocket trash. It's then added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I'll definitely have to look around the actual crime scene again. Maybe I should find out more about the protein can. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. Chem lab first. I think I can suss out what it's trying to do here. This case is going to be about pitting the testimonies of 3 untrustworthy subjects against each other, one of whom is crazy suspicious, but that just means that Hiro obviously didn't do it. Of course Hiro didn't do it. Because it would just be a blessing to have him actually be gone from us. Then again, I said the same thing about Taka, and he was mercifully reduced from our presence. I mean, removed from our presence in the last case. Did you have your eye on Chem Lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir, I understand. Yeah, bitch, I fucking heard you. God, I want to say that to him. Have a great stream. You want to keep blind on it? Alright, sorry, man. I'm only going for a little while longer here anyways. Has to go buy milk. Well, enjoy your milk then. This is one of the monitors Monokuma appears on. Being scared of it won't do any good. Better off ignoring it completely. Hey, a coin! The surveillance camera. Who could think I'd get used to being watched 24/7? Also, this isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make a giant one, but more important, what's that powder that's been spilled in front? There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Looks like the bottle had a label on it, Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on 4th floor this morning, checking things out. At that point, this room wasn't like this. And this powder must have been
So,
spilled
in other words,
around the time of the incident. Is that really when it happened? It must be related to the case somehow. Somebody slipped poison into Sakura's drink. That's what caused the vomiting blood. And then they bashed her on the head when she was weak. There are footprints, and they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen. Let's go, chop chop. I got to work, and before long, I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. How's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business with leftmost shelf. I need a drawing to tell me that. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and left. That's what footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be.
Certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No!
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately, but with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And the prints really are a valuable clue. So can I look again? You lay out the footprints. Looks like this. And when you look at the pattern, whoever left these behind went to the shelf on the left, and that's it. Straight there, did something, and left. The prints aren't really clear, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out who they are. The prints are a super valuable clue. That's why I'm not going to add them to my goddamn truth bullets section. Let's see, what's on the shelf? All kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from here. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number, except for that Chem C9. I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section A. There's one bottle here labeled C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? On this shelf is a bunch of chemicals. I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about chemical reaction. How you have lived such life in ignorance for so long.
What?
You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. It doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. It's B and a number. I can consider this section B. Nothing out of the ordinary. Section C. Poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers are C and a number. I should try and find out more about this shelving unit. Split into 3 sections. A has dietary, B has reagents, C has lethals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from section A. What concerns me is that in A there was a bottle with a label from section C. What was that bottle of poison from C doing in A? There's definitely something going on here. Chem lab shelf. There's also a bottle of C that's been smashed. Yes, I believe I have checked out the area. Or what, you want me to check the middle too? Bunch of yellow powder, better not leave a footprint. Probably take a good hard look at it. There's also the remains of a broken bottle, C4. It looks like someone left some footprints. Yes, I know, I fucking checked that already. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to be spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Now for the rec room. But I'm also gonna talk with him.
I see.
Makoto, I admit, you have good eye for spotting useful clues, but you also need to learn to make use of those clues. It's not that bad, man. Some omnipotent power gives you unlimited tries. And do everything. By process of elimination, eventually you will be correct. I'm getting really tired. I only got 6 hours of sleep last night. Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko.
I see.
So, along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go to see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway,
I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of the magazines, and Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look them over one more time. Kyoko said the magazine shelf is hiding a clue. This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident? If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is one of the pages near the center. A word had been written in bloody bold letters, and it said Toko. Could this be a dying message? And it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
so
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. Dying message.
However-
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it for the benefit of others who might come looking. This is that? That it says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. What the heck? And she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you'd think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the bottles. It has something to do with the chess pieces.
hey,
Did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention and you're sure to find it. Correlation. Kyoko, can you just tell me what it is?
so
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but me giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusion, so then everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer! I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree? Monokuma bottle's been updated. Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that upsets me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right?
anyway,
Can you gather up all the broken pieces of the Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Are you sure it's okay to mess with the
That
crime
doesn't
scene like
matter.
that? I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya is not here,
so
so
then,
I need to get something from the chem lab. When I'm gone, while I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. I really don't know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I better just do it. And just as I finished up, sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. What kind of experiment are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Comparing the weights of what? Pieces of glass you collected and one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
listen,
Let's compare the weight of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced,
in other words,
which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same, which makes sense. The figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the
So then-
weight. Now here comes the important part. Pull all the pieces you picked up on the one side of the scale. And what might we assume to see? A normal assumption would be either they're balanced out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How's that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought.
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles. Put it all together,
hey,
and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. There are 2 of them missing. What do you think? It's all on you. There's 1 figure, but there's 2 bottles worth of glass. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from
a
Sakura's
second.
body. Staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out.
hey,
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body?
whew,
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times. Can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
it's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you?
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes.
correct.
See that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands
I
out.
see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yellow powder.
Hey,
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
it's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem.
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Huh. That's confusing. Don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. So that means she didn't write the dying message or someone washed her hands. She got 2 blows to the head. Both of the bottles. Someone took the second Monokuma figurine. And it may have been her herself that spilled the powder, got it on her shoe, and picked up her own protein shake. That's what I'm thinking going into this. And if Byakuya weren't such an insufferable prick who always kind of plays around the edges of like, is it me? It's not me. I would say that it's probably him. So I'm leaning between the 2 painfully obvious solutions of Hiro and Toko.
Whoops, you caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the 1st floor of the school. See you soon.
Wonderful. It's already time, but the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the trial. No, not whatever happens. I will make something happen. Dun, dun, dun.